short-term goal for you right now in your life.
Yeah.
As well as a long-term goal.
So I would say that the short-term goal for me would be to just kind of get better control of my life. You know, undo some bad habits, learn some better habits, be a better steward of my finances.
Be better.
Try to live healthier, eat healthier, work out more. So my short-term goal is just to try and get some forward momentum, because I'm going to be kind of real here. I've been pretty tired for the past, probably been for about a year. So I've been I've been pretty tired. I've been kind of exhausted, and I'm not going to say I'm the most busy person on the planet, but I'm pretty busy.
You're pretty busy. Yeah.
And it's just kind of I've been feeling a little overwhelmed, and it's not, I can't necessarily take a vacation or drop what I'm doing, so my short-term goal is to just kind of get some forward momentum, better myself, get some better habits going, get a little healthier, just so I'm better able to deal with the, the stress of day-to-day life.
Yeah. I've been kind of being influenced by a lot of things I'm following in terms of healthiness and fitness and that kind of thing. And, I'm a pretty big guy. I've always been a big guy, but it'd be kind of nice to kind of focus more on that, especially just starting out maybe just with weights or something, because that's what I have.
You want to get cut.
Gonna get some gains. What are you cutting? I'm cutting. No, give me a Diet Dr. Pepper. I'm cutting.
I don't think diet soda is the way forward now.
Shout out to the Hodge twins, man. I love those guys so much. Give me they do those they did videos for a long time where they're just in the drive-thru at Taco Bell or something. They're like, give me a Diet Dr. Pepper because I'm cutting. And they're like, oh no, give me no cheese because I'm cutting.
Oh my God.
Oh God, I love them so much. They do more political stuff now, but it's their food stuff and fitness stuff was freaking hilarious. So anyway, that's where my inspiration's coming from. It's the old Hodge twins. But in all seriousness, I was trying to figure out, I'm hearing podcasts and listening to things where people are like, yeah, I'm trying to get my home gym going, and it saves me so much time versus driving 15 minutes to the gym. And we live far away from town, so it's even more of a drive. So I'm like, oh yeah, that I was thinking about that, and would that work out? Would that be better? But it's I think there's a guy on Twitter. His name's Dave, and he's a guy that I think he was 400 plus pounds, and he's been on this journey for about 2 years now. I remember following him. He put a picture up. He's like, all right, I'm going to start tackling weight loss. And he, in the last 2 years, went from being super, super depressed, overweight, single, to kind of changing his whole life around and his mentality. And he works full time, so he's still doing this. But he would get up at 4 a.m. and hit the gym, and it's just a Planet Fitness, nothing special. And he'd just go there and just continually do that. And he found happiness, more energy, and all this kind of stuff. And I look at that, and I'm like, it's really inspiring and really cool. I don't know if I could get up at 4 in the morning every day. Definitely not. But I look at that and the success that's come from that for him, and kind of him going viral as well, is really cool. Not that I want to go viral or anything, but just to get better. And even if it's step by step, because it's a process at the end of the day. So anyway, I'll let you continue, David.
Yeah. So that's pretty much my short-term goal, is just to get a better handle on, my habits and my health and all that. Just so I can, I'm better able to deal with the things that I need to deal with, move forward in my life.
I think we always talk about intentionality with the media, David. I think it's also important to bring up intentionality of just life choices,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important to ask yourself why you're doing something, or why you're still doing something, and why can't I do more or less with that? And I think you brought a vacation, which made me think like, I'm sorry, I'm taking up all your time here. I'm sorry. But you brought up vacation and it made me think of like, yeah, vacation would be nice, I guess, but it's kind of important to kind of find a period of time in your usual routine to introduce something new. Whether it be just setting a timer for like 15 minutes and reading the Bible or something. That's why we say intentionality with media, because we want to be intentional about our media, even though it's easy to scroll on Instagram for me or to scroll through Twitter or just sit there and listen to a podcast versus not doing anything, you know? But continue. I'm sorry. I'm taking too much. I'm telling too much.
No. It's all good. It's what you're talking about is kind of the same thing that I'm going through. Is that was weird. I don't know where that came from. Yeah. So one of the stuff you're talking about, it's kind of the reason why my goals are what they are. And as for long-term goals, that's a little bit more. That's a little bit more up in the air, you know? Because it's like, I don't know what the future holds. But I would say that for one thing, for sure, I want to start investing. I want to diversify my portfolio. I want to diversify my income sources for sure. And I also want to figure out how a way to monetize my music. That I think would be a long-term goal for me, as well as what you were talking about. I want Mrs. David Reed to come into the picture.
Yeah.
We're both single guys, so.
Yeah, we're both, yeah. But if you couldn't tell. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Yeah, I think I'll bring up I'll say something here, David. I've noticed in terms of the last couple of months, your behavior has been a lot about discovering new things and kind of diving into it. And I've done this, I think everybody's done this actually, where like you find something new and you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. And you do more research and get into it. I think it started with you. I'm just only thinking about this year actually, but I think the emulation stuff kind of started it from what I've noticed. And we kind of started our podcast before that and whatnot. And you're diving into Logic, for example. You're diving into more different things and media wise. I wasn't trying to spy, but I was going to go shut the window in the studio last night. And I saw Nexus Mods from Skyrim on the webpage. And I'm like, oh, shoot, is he going to play Skyrim? Is he going to get into the modding scene? That'd be dope. That'd be awesome. And so, like, I just noticed these, like, behaviors in that kind of area of your life where you're, like, discovering new things. You're investing your time in it. You're figuring things out. I mean, we talked about the whole emulation thing with A Link to the Past multiplayer, which is super fun. And your SNES is classic. And just these smaller things I see that could lead down the road to bigger things. You're having this discovery phase from what I've observed in these areas. And it seems like, especially with the audio stuff too, I mean, you're always kind of doing that as well, but you could also translate it and use those capabilities in other aspects. And I think you'll be surprised by how well it translates. I don't know. What do you think?
Who's to say, really?
Who's to say? But I've kind of given a lot of thought to this. Like, how do I translate my interest into this?
Yeah.
You know? Like, how do I translate video games into working out? Like, how do I do that, you know? I know you can get a Fitbit or a watch or whatever and kind of track your stuff and make a game out of it. So that kind of sounds fun. But there's got to be other ways to do it too, how to make it fun. One thing that I will say, the Dave guy I mentioned on Twitter, I think his name's Dave Dana or Dana or something. He's a cool guy. I'd suggest looking him up. But one thing he'd said, he was interviewed at one point, and he said, I just go to the gym, I just do what's fun. And I just find what's like fun to do instead of like doing all these squats or doing all these push-ups or whatever. He's like, I kind of just started with like walking, kind of doing a little bit of weight stuff, a little bit of cardio, and just started doing that. And I think now he's at like 230 or 40 pounds. So he's lost like 160 plus pounds, which is really amazing. And it's one of those great stories of like, oh man, if he can do it, I can do it. But for me, I'm like, meh. whatever. Yeah. But now I'm like realizing I'm like, well, I'm only getting older, so maybe I should do something about it. Maybe. But
Maybe.
maybe. But I think it kind of calls back to what we were talking about earlier. Like, what are you going to be doing it for, And it's to get, you kind of want to ask yourself that. You kind of want to keep going with it. So, yeah, kind of interesting.